Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Fergus Mulligan, and today I want to do a little video on how to get good at filmmaking in the shortest period of time possible. Let's take the time frame of a year, which I started filmmaking about a year ago, and how I've made the progress that I have in that time. Quick caveat, I don't claim to know loads about filmmaking. I don't claim to be an expert in color grading, in shooting in slow motion, in angles and shots, all of that. I'm just an actor who needed a platform to put his work out there and not have to wait for the job. So I just want to go through a few of the lessons that I've learned myself to get as good as I possibly could get in the shortest amount of time. Now, I don't know anyone, or I don't have really any friends that are into filmmaking, but that's what I wanted to get good at, so that I'd have a platform for my acting and for my friends to have a platform to put their work on, and hopefully for me to make some money on the side as well. Because I thought, okay, I'll probably be pretty good at this, and my obsessive nature would probably lead me to get good at this quite quickly. So let's go through some of the points and some of the various things that really helped me. I have another YouTube channel, it's called Half a Shilling, and we do a sketch every week. If you want to check out that sketch group, I'll put it in the link below. Now, that sketch group doesn't have much traction, and I can see why, because they're comedy sketches about two geezers you don't even know. I mostly operate that sketch group off my Facebook, and I think we have about 48 sketches so far. So I did a sketch every week for the whole year, and doing a sketch every week has really pushed the limits of what I've known each week, and I've seen the flaws in my acting, number one, in my filmmaking, and angles, and sound was a big problem for a long while, so I had to invest in sound equipment. I started to solve a lot of problems by working with actors and other people and directing these sketches each week. There isn't much people watching those videos apart from people I know on Facebook. So a lot of YouTubers will tell you that it's not about the equipment. All you need is your phone and you're ready to go to be a filmmaker. Well, I want to tell you that's complete and utter bullshit. I say invest in the best equipment, do a bit of research and invest, and you won't know at the start what equipment that you need to get for yourself. But do a bit of research and invest in the best equipment that you can with the money that you have. Because literally, the better the equipment you have, the more options you have. And the more options you have, the more creative you can be. And the more creative you can be, the more people are going to watch it. And let's be honest, not many people want to watch videos on a phone. They might watch someone's video on a phone if there's a particular nuance or new idea in said video on a phone, but they won't keep coming back to phone quality. You see all these huge YouTubers like, yeah, you don't need all the fancy equipment, and then the next video they have is on a review of the next biggest camera they have, or sound equipment or lights. So that's complete and utter bullshit. Invest in the best camera and equipment and lighting and sound and SD cards and computer as soon as you possibly can, because the more equipment that you have, the more time you have to play around with it. Which leads me on to my next learning curve. I pretty much shot something every day, and I edited every day almost for the entire last year, whether that was just like a 5-minute thing here or there, or a 10-minute export. Just experimenting with new ideas, experimenting with framing, angles, lighting. I was always experimenting. You might be asking yourself, how could you shoot something every day? You can shoot yourself. Here's another key point. Watch tutorials and practice them at the same time. So usually how I discover a tutorial, so you shoot a few things and you learn and you make mistakes, and then you try to fix those mistakes. So you do a YouTube search and then you look at a tutorial and you realize what a big mistake you've made, and then you watch that tutorial and you try to apply it, and next time there's another thing that you've learned that's part of the toolkit. And building the toolkit as a filmmaker, I think, is super important, and one that I'm probably really limited in, because I went backwards in. I didn't start at the very foundations. I started making sketches at first, and I didn't understand the point of frame rates and shutter speed and aperture and ISO pretty much. I just started making sketches, and I realized through the process what my mistakes were. Because I had another sketch the next week, or I was making YouTube videos at the same time. So I was like, that doesn't look right, or that doesn't sound right. And those problems become very apparent very quickly. So yeah, shoot more. Work with other people, because they'll teach you a lot. And even if that's free, like I was lucky to work with other actors every week. And then I was trying out different directing techniques from a technical point of view and also from an artistic, creative, emotional point of view. So the sketches thing really helped me in many different ways. I can't stress that enough. I think it's the best learning curve of my life to do a sketch with other people every week as opposed to myself. Just in general, if you can do that, make creative work with other people, where they're in the shot or behind the camera, best lesson. Also, usually I knew more about the camera stuff and equipment and the sound and stuff when we did these sketches. So it would be mostly me making those adjustments and then making the mistakes myself and then teaching others. And obviously in teaching other people about the limited stuff that I know, I then went on to get slightly better, incrementally better. As I said, I still don't think I'm at a point where I am a very strong filmmaker. I make mistakes every single time I do another shoot. You can actually, if it interests you, and I think it should be, that you should check out the Half a Shilling channel. I'm not even plugging it, like, because honestly I don't think some of the stuff isn't shot very well from a cinematography point of view, but some of the videos are actually kind of cool. But if you want to see my progress or track my progress as a filmmaker, watch those videos and it becomes very apparent. Like each week there's some new adjustment and you'll see that. It's very interesting. Here's a quick point or quick tip. Organize your room in a way that you have all your camera equipment, your lighting equipment, your lenses, all in a place where you can shoot an idea as quick and as fast as possible, Casey Neistat style, but organize your room in a way that it makes it very accessible. Another thing that I did each week that I thought was very beneficial was I shot film or I took pictures of things that I never took before. So there was one challenge usually each week from a cinematography point of view or photography point of view that I'd never done before, and I gave that a shot. And obviously when you do something new, you get some more findings. Shit thing about that is it's like you're reminded how much of a complete noob in the area you are, but you do learn a lot. Get all the Adobe programs as quick and download them as fast as you possibly can, just to have them on your computer. You don't even need to know how to use them yet, but even if you have them on your computer, you will use them in time, because you will make films that will require the entire Adobe suite at some point, whether that be Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere, Adobe Audition, Lightroom. You will use them at some point. So get them on your computer as fast as possible. And I hate to say this, if you have to get them illegally, do that. Yes, the Adobe programs are very expensive. So do what you have to do. I'm not saying anymore. Here's another point. Don't cheat your way to an easier effect. Do it the hard way in everything. Don't put the camera on autofocus. Don't put it auto ISO, auto aperture, auto shutter speed. Don't do anything auto. Don't cheat it and take the shortcuts, because the shortcuts will skip the lessons that you need to learn. So that includes everything. Don't use LUTs, because you will never understand color and how to color grade. Not an expert at color grading, not an expert at balancing out the photo. Don't use zebras. I have some understanding of the graphs in Premiere Pro for color grading, what have you. I have some idea, but I think the way I did it was the best way, which is to do it with your eye, what looks right. And what you'll find is you think you know what looks right until someone points it out. Oh, that looks a bit gray, or that looks a bit oversaturated. And over time, your eye for your own work will get better. You can see it in other people's work, but you'll find it hard sometimes to see it in your own work. So yeah, do everything the hard way and you'll learn the quickest lessons. Look at your footage a week later to realize the mistakes that you made already. If you were as focused and obsessed with getting good at this as me, you will see the mistakes like pretty much straight away. That's what's great about making your own work and editing your own video work. You get the chance to see the mistakes in the edit and after the edit, like straight away. It's so obvious. Whereas with acting, is what I've been doing for the last 5.5 years, you can't see those mistakes straight away. But one of the nice things about editing my own work and my own acting work, as I see my own flaws in my own acting work. And my final point, things that you should just buy. Just buy them. If you have the money, just go out there and buy these things. You might not understand it now, and you might have very limited view of filmmaking, but if you buy these things, you will use them for sure at some point. So these are the things that I recommend that you buy, and I might say why you should buy them. Get yourself a fast SD card, get yourself a hard drive, buy a GH5 if you have the money, or Sony a6500. I think they're two of the best cameras that you can buy at the moment for the price. And if you get the GH5, get the 18 to 55mm Sigma lens, because it's a bag of primes. You might not understand what that means right now. You've got so much versatility with that lens. Basically, that might be the only lens you'll need to use for maybe a year or 2 years, depending on what you're doing. You might need another lens, whatever. But you'll figure that out in the interim. Buy a sound recording device, buy some sort of zoom, maybe buy a shotgun mic, but get the zoom for sure. 2 LED lights should do you fine. I wish I bought them sooner, because I made my own lights. Get a softbox, or make your own softbox. Made my own softbox, love doing that. Get a tripod, get some light stands, because you put anything on light stands and they're really cheap on Amazon. Check them out on Amazon and you can have a few of them around. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the things that you might need to buy. Have a look at that list, and obviously buy the primary stuff, which is the camera and the SD, if you can't afford that now. But write up a list of things that you want to buy, and you will buy them over the interim time. The sooner you buy those things, honestly, you'll use them all. There's no piece of equipment that I bought that I didn't use. Just going to say again, I am not an expert in this field at all. All I have is a year under my belt, self-taught. No one taught me any of this. It was all from YouTube. Hope this is helpful to you guys, as I'm pretty sure it will be if you're a complete beginner. Trust that you'll get better, but you need to take the shots, throw the darts, and you will get better. Anyways, if you like this video, throw me a like and drop me a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Cheers for watching, guys.